episode of Metal Man Productions. We're going to be continuing with the Sam Towns Bowie build-off. And on part 3 here, we're going to go ahead and start forging out the handguard. I have a 1/4 inch thick by 1.5 inch wide piece of spring steel. And it's well over a foot, and there's going to be quite a bit of extra material there. But we'll cut that off when we get most of the guard forged out. But go ahead and get this thing hot, and we're going to start making the D-guard for the Bowie. So hold on. I'm just trying to get a taper. Keeping the fish lips in check. Alright, so let's start to do some shaping. Probably wind up switching hammers here. And, well, do a little more tapering. So this is mild steel, so hitting it black is not going to hurt it. Alright, so this is going to be the top portion of the handguard. I'm thinning that down. Trying to keep it straight. I'm not straight, but keep it from twisting. I am putting a curve in it. I just don't like to twist. So I got the top of the guard done, kind of the tang ricasso area isolated. Now I got to start thinning it down. Underneath this ricasso area. I'm going to use my rounder to do it, because I kind of want the metal to go in all directions. Alright, so I am going to punch a slotted hole in this area right here. But I want to thin this portion down here. I want to thin that out now. And then come back and drift this slot in there, because if I drift the slot and then start doing all this, it's going to distort it really bad. So I'm trying to minimize how much I distort that. If it starts to curve, it's fine. Woo, hot. So the reason I like to punch this with a slot punch is kind of go straight to flat files instead of trying to cut out 3 closely drilled holes and using small rat tail files to kind of cut the little bridges there. And I find that it just kind of gives you a better overall start on getting the tang hole cut. Should have had a longer punch. Get some nice radiant heat here. Flip it over and take a look. I'll take one more heat. Go ahead, flip it and see if I can crack it. Make sure it's straight. Ooh, hot. Oh, I missed. Keep getting better. Need a better glove. All right, so we got our slot punched. It actually went pretty quick. Like I said, this is just mild steel. This was spring steel, it'd be all gummy, and I'd be fighting it in and out and up and down and all kinds of good stuff. All right, so now that that's done, I'm actually gonna have to pause and probably stop the forging at this point, because I'm gonna have to seat the blade into the tang hole. And then once I get that done, I can continue on with the backside. And the idea is I came far enough down here that as I start to bend and finish forging the handguard, it won't distort the tang hole there. So I'm gonna let this cool down, probably throw in some water, and then we're gonna get on some file work and get the tang inside the hole there. Alright, so I got this thing cooled down, and now I'm over here doing the file work. So like I said, you know, using the slot punch, I went straight to my flat file, and I didn't have to fool around with tiny rat tails. Alright, so I got this almost seated. I think I'm going to do a little bit of hot work here before I get too carried away. I don't want a loose fit, so I think I might get this in the forge, vise this up, and use my tool to seat this guard. So I'll bring you back when we get there. So this tool comes in handy for seating guards, and I can also strike it with a hammer if I need to, but I think we're pretty close. I think we're going to be able to get this one on there. So I'll take a few heats just getting this on the tang, and then when it's about seated or seated, I'll bring you back. Alright, I think I'm going to do that one more time. Alright, so I've been doing a lot of fiddling with this, and I have my tang hole filed, and I also have the back of the ricasso seated into the handle. I'm just going to go down like so. And that it's pretty flush fit so far. I don't see any gapping, so I'm not going to know for sure until I can bend the handle around. But I just want to show this tool off a little bit. It's really helpful for doing stuff like this. It works on brass too, but this is pretty much just a 1.5 inch solid cube of iron on the top that I welded to a piece of black pipe, and I cut a slot in it so a lot of your tangs are going to be angled, and sometimes they're steeper than this, so the tang will stick out. So one thing you have to be careful of is when you're using a tool, if the tang is longer, not to run your hand into it. But the slot is just to allow clearance for the tang, because the tang is sticking out. I have a piece of black pipe that I kind of just forged into a square, and you can turn it around and use it as a soft blow hammer on the other side, just to kind of do some tapping if you want. Well, that's a pretty cool little tool. I use it just about every time I seat a hidden tang guard. I used to just use a pipe, and then the pipe kept browning over, and a lot of times the tang wouldn't fit inside the pipe. So this is kind of what I came up with to alleviate that. And that weight on the back of it really helps. If you just want to use it as a blow tool, you don't even need to hit it with a hammer. But you can hit it with a hammer too. So that's enough about that. I'll stop showing this off, but pretty good idea for seating hand guards. Alright, so next I'm going to move you back over to the anvil. We're going to get back to forging the D guard, see if we can get it bent around and get all that figured out. So. Alright, so I'm just doing some cold forming, just trying to get everything to line up. Not hitting anything too terribly hard. So it's really just going to be a matter of going back and forth with this until I get it where I need it. Alright, so I hope this video is not too disconjointed, but I just have so much tippity tap and fiddle work to do on this. It's kind of hard to manage the camera at the same time. So right now I'm actually just doing some cold shaping. I got a piece of 3/4 inch black pipe here, just kind of mocking up a handle. I'm not really too concerned about the back because I can grind that to fit whatever I need to fit on the handle, but I am concerned about the front. So I'm kind of getting pretty close. I got a pretty decent fit up. I don't know if you can see it. The lighting's kind of bad right now. Maybe a little bit of gapping that I'm going to try to just continue to tippity tap away. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I probably will cut this off, this extra piece off camera. I'm going to cut some of that off, get it out of the way. And I'm going to just continue to do some cold forging, and I'm thinking if I cut this off, I might be able to fit it back in the forge and just kind of continue to shape it up in a dull red heat. Taking care not to damage the blade. Really taking care not to damage the blade because I don't want to go back and have to fix anything. I already had to fix the ricasso once where I hit it with the seating tool for the handguard, and I don't want to have to keep going back and forth doing that. So again, I'm going to go ahead and turn you off. I'll bring you back when I have this thing seated, shaped, and hopefully about done. Alright, I know this video has been choppy and sporadic and kind of all over the place, but I had to do a lot of fiddle work, fiddle farting, tippity tapping, tweaking, bending, twisting. Yeah, so I got this piece of 3/4 inch pipe. I used it as a makeshift handle. I kind of roughly got the same angles on the handle, put it in between the two sides of the D-guard. Screwed it all together with some cold forming. I took a small ball peen hammer, just kind of brought everything into dimension. Everything looks like it's seating up pretty good. I don't see any gapping. I don't see any gapping in the behind the ricasso to the handguard. I'm actually quite happy with the fit. I have a lot of cleanup work to do on the grinder, shaping this thing, getting all the rough edges off. But I kind of want to leave some of the forging into the D-guard because it has almost like a concaved, effect here. So, of course, the handle is going to be wider than this. It's not going to be this skinny, although the pipe handle does look pretty cool. It actually feels pretty daggone good. But my handle is going to be a little bit wider. It's probably going to flare out in the front and flare out in the back and just kind of have something to kind of pull your hand in there. So it's going to be a little bit wider to take up some of the space in between your knuckles and the handguard. So if I add a 1/4 inch, it's probably going to put my hand about right here. So yeah, about right here. So I think the D-guard is going to be a pretty good fit. Yeah, so I got sky's the limit on the handle, so I'm kind of looking for kind of like a wide handle. It's going to be kind of oblong in eye shape when you look down it. So, and I got my nut established here, so that all locked down really nice. So yeah, I mean, we're well on our way to making this thing work. So I will do some belt sander work on the grinder, and then we're going to end this video. I'll go ahead and show you some final pictures. It may not be the final finish of the guard, but it probably will be the final shape of the guard. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of finish we're going to go for yet. I like the forging marks in it. I'm going to leave those. Clean up the top of the handguard, the face and the back, make that smooth. But along the bottom of the D-guard, I'm going to leave the rounding. I used a rounding die, my rounding hammer. So I'm going to leave those peen marks here. May clean up the back a little bit smoother to accept the pommel nice and gap free. So I'm going to shut up, get back to the grinder, and I will show you some pictures of the D-guard after it's been ground. But remember, it may not be the final finish. I don't know if it's going to be black. I don't know if it's going to be etched. I really don't know where it's going to be. I may just put it on a wire brush, leave it bright silver, and put some oil on it. I don't know yet. So that is a work in progress. As far as the pommel goes, I got a couple ideas kicking around in my head. Pommel will be on the next video, and then yeah, get the pommel done. D-guard will be done. Then will be heat treat handle and assembly. So yeah, I hope I make it. Like I said, next week's quad state, I took off to go attend that. I think I might be able to get home on Sunday and do a little bit of work, but to be honest with you, after driving, quad state's 8 hours for me. After driving 8 hours out there and 8 hours back, I don't know how much I'm gonna feel like working on the knife. So, and I really don't know if I would even want to try it when I'm tired, because I'll probably mess something up. I got a nice piece of burl that I got from Bobby Shields. It has a nice mauve colored epoxy mixed into it. That's going to be our handle, and I really don't want to screw it up because, yeah, I really want to make the handle work for this knife, because I think it's going to be really nice. So again, I'm going to shut up and get off here. Remember, townsbowiebuildoff. Check him out. He's all over the internet. He's got a podcast, he's got YouTube, he's got everything, Instagram, you know, check him out. I'm sure they have a Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Also check me out, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, all Metal Man Productions. Check me out on Etsy, Metal Man Productions. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up, and stay tuned for the photos, and we'll see you on the next one.